Well, good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Back to smart home tech. It's been a little while. I kind of noticed that video collaborations on YouTube kind of go in waves. Like I'll get suddenly tons of companies contacting me for smart home tech and security cameras. Then it'll slow down. I'm always reviewing watches, as you guys know, but it always kind of goes in waves. So I got another great product by a company called Camduck. If you haven't checked out the other review I did on their hidden, it's basically like a wall power strip, basically, that has a hidden camera in it. Great for, you know, if you were the kind of person who wants to have some surveillance in your home but have it be discreet. You know, I'm not a parent, so I don't really I don't know. You know, I just haven't crossed that bridge. So, you know, if you were trying to keep an eye on your kids, if you were trying to keep an eye on your nanny, your business, whatever the case may be, they make some really great products. So I encourage you to check out their website. I'll put the link in the description. And if there is a discount code at the time of this video, that'll be there too. So today, I want to share with you, this is their hidden smoke detector camera. And what's really great about this is that this is one of the few devices on the market in smart home tech at this price point that have the ability to connect to 2.4 gig and 5 gigahertz networks, which is great because as we get more and more devices into our home, this video is about the smoke detector, of course, or the camera, but I do want to mention for anybody who's looking to build a smart home, you just can't go buy a regular router slash modem, what I like to call 3-in-1. That's your modem, router, and access point, which the access point distributes to Wi-Fi. Again, this isn't a networking video, but you just can't go and keep indefinitely adding devices to a network. I know you'll read online and check out how many devices might work. Theoretical maximum 256, I think it is. You'll never get there with regular stuff you're going to get from like any brick and mortar store. I've tested ASUS routers. I've tested several different routers, and problems start to develop at around 25 or 30. Now, technology is changing. I'm not privy to every single router out there. I don't know how the performance of every single router. All I can tell you is my experience, and I always recommend Ubiquiti if you're going to put together a smart home with anything over about 30 devices. You know, and that can happen really quick. You might be saying, "Oh, well, I'm not going to have that many." It happens really quick, especially if you have a household full of people, tablets, phones, computers, you know, streaming sticks. It happens really quick. So this is just a great device that features a 2.4 and 5 gigahertz spectrum. Now, what's the advantage? 2.4 has a better range, slower speed. 5 gigahertz, better speed, less congestion. So for devices that are inside your house, not too far from the router, you know, 5 gigahertz, great, right? Now, I'm not saying 5 gig can't penetrate walls and get outside, but your modem, if you have your modem set to 2.4 and 5 gigahertz mixed broadcast, the modem and device will kind of negotiate what's going to be the best connection for the distance, you know, the signal strength, all the RSSI value, all that stuff. So a lot of smart home devices, though, cameras especially, only connect to 2.4. And as you start to add more and more devices that are smart, mainly lights, doorbells, security cameras, you really start to congest that network, right? Or that spectrum. So it's great that this will be able to connect to 5 gigahertz and get maximum speed, maximum throughput. Remember that roughly, in my experience, in the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, you're going to get roughly, and again, I know some of you network guys will correct me by all means, you know, give me more information, but my experience, about 60 megs, 5 gigahertz, totally dependent upon the device, right? If you're, you know, if you have a new iPhone versus you know, my Android phone tops out at like 150, my iPhone connects to like, I think 5-ish. So just kind of keep that in mind. So let's now talk about the product that I've given you some information. Here is the device, and I'm going to unplug it, and I hope that we don't lose connectivity. I am charging the battery. And so this is a wireless security camera, of course, and it looks just like a smoke detector. It's kind of like a stubby security camera, right? And so if somebody were to come into your house and see this, you know, people aren't stupid. You know, they might look at this and say, hey, you know, that smoke detector looks a little funny. You do have this kind of black screen here. There is no lights. Those lights that when you're setting it up, the Wi-Fi light turns off so that it just looks like a black screen on there. And this is definitely less obtrusive, right? If you put this in your house, people might not realize that this is a security camera. And it depends on their level of, I guess, tech savviness. Like, for instance, my parents, if I had this in their house, they would never know the difference, right? If I was like, this is a new smoke detector. You know, and I think a lot of people are like that. But for me, if you are tech savvy, I might look at this and say, That's a non-smoke detector. You know, that's it's got a screen there. That might be a hidden camera. Again, always do the right thing, and you don't have to worry about this stuff. But again, this is a great tool to add in your home or business, where you can just kind of keep an eye on things and maybe make your, you know, whoever you're trying to watch or keep an eye on. It doesn't necessarily make them feel like they're being watched. But I think in today's day and age, there is really the reasonable expectation of privacy is really like inside your house. You know, anywhere public, people have the ability to film you, and we see all these stupid videos on YouTube where it's like, you can't film me. Yes, you can. You could film anybody as long as you're on public property, right? And you can film, you know, as long as you have your camera pointed at your neighbor's window trying to peek inside her private area, or he or she's private area. I don't mean private area in the body. I mean the house. You're not violating any kind of laws. Again, check with your local laws. I'm not an attorney, but just to give you guys some example of, you know, cameras are okay to have, and you're okay to have them on your house, right? So what's cool about this, again, it does have a detachable bracket, so you can mount this on the ceiling, and this just basically pops into place. As far as the functions, I'm going to read you directly off the website like I normally do, just so I don't misspeak. So again, completely hidden, no indicator when recording. No one would know it's a hidden camera for the most part. We do have a micro SD card and a charging port, USB-C, and a reset button. This is, you can put the cover back on if you want, pop it on there. I guess if somebody were to take this down and like inspect it, that might fool them. I don't know. I don't see the point having the cover really, but that's, I think, the idea in that. I do have this connected to the network now, and I am really surprised at how fast and responsive it is. And I think that's because it's probably connected to the 5 gig spectrum right now. And it is just really very fast compared to, you know, some of the other cameras. There's usually like a delay in most cameras that I've tested, even the really expensive ones. And I am really pretty shocked. Like every little move that I make, I can see it on, I'm going to show, you won't see that, basically be able to tell this on the, let me just make sure there's nothing revealing here. All right, so you can kind of see, like, as I move, that response time is really fast. And like I said, I've reviewed a lot of cameras on this channel, and this is the fastest response that I've ever seen come through the app. Most of the time, there's always a pretty substantial delay. So that's awesome. It is a pan-tilt cam, which is really cool because you can set this somewhere centrally located, and you can spin this sucker right around. I'm going to show you here. You can see it turning. As far as up and down on the app, you can see there's like a plus and minus. That's going to be your zoom. So that allows you to zoom in or out. You don't have the ability to tip the camera up or down, but it does have a very large fisheye lens. And again, I haven't tested this mounted on the ceiling yet, but from what I can tell by the app, you're going to get a pretty decent view. I still would recommend not putting this in a corner. It kind of defeats the purpose of having a pan tilt, you know, where you can spin this all the way around. Put this somewhere centrally located where you got to be able to really, you know, get a pretty broad view of your space. You know, my intentions weren't really to install this, to be honest with you, in my house, but I'm really impressed at how fast this moves. I have an old Zomato camera downstairs, and it is just really sluggish. And something like this, much better, and, you know, gets it off an end table. And, you know, when people come in, especially if you got, like, you know, I don't want to... Don't judge me, but if you got a girlfriend, you know, you just never know people nowadays. I can speak to some of the girls I've dated, not too trustworthy. You know, this is kind of a great way just to make sure you're not wasting your time with somebody without making them feel like that, you know, this guy is like super paranoid and watching me like a friggin' psycho, right? Anyway, so a little bit more about it. 4 megapixel Ultra HD color camera, crisp videos and photos, even in dim conditions. I don't know how long the battery lasts on this. That's the only downside. You're going to ceiling mount this. You will have to charge this eventually. And depending on how much movement I think that you get in your house, that might determine how long the battery lasts in this. If you're really concerned with it and you're handy, you can basically just pop a hole in the ceiling and run like a long USB-C connection up there. If you have outlets in the ceiling, you know, some options for you there. I'm probably not going to do that. I just, you know, I have many cameras in the house, and I can just basically, you know, charge this when it needs it, and I'll still have a backup camera. It does have the ability to be controlled directly with kind of its own hotspot with your cell phone. So if you don't want to add this to a network and you only want to be able to connect to it when you're near it, you can, I was trying to think of why you might want to do that. Maybe you want to do that, maybe mount it in a work van or something like that, you know, on the inside, or maybe pointing forward. You can connect to it remotely, maybe when you're, you know, in a customer's home, or maybe you're in a business getting a cup of coffee. I don't know why you'd want to do it. I'm just trying to throw ideas on why. Maybe you don't have a home network, maybe you don't have the internet, and you want the ability to connect to this in your home, but you still have to be within, you know, a reasonable distance. So kind of odd. When setting it up, I'll give you a little tidbit on anything you set up. I always forget to do this myself. Turn off your cellular data, because when these things are trying to connect, they get confused. I had it fail 3 times and I forgot. You turn off the data network and it'll be very easy to set up, very easy to get up and running. What else do you have on this? You have again, no blinking lights, so it's not going to kind of clue anybody into, hey, that's a camera up there. Kind of weird that smoke detector's flashing at me. Let's see, it can rotate 360 degrees. It does have a stop, so you will rotate, I'd say, 359 degrees and 359 degrees back. Again, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz spectrum support. You have the app, the Camduck app. App is really basic, kind of clunky logo. It's got a duck, right? But it is called Camduck. Odd names. Some of these Chinese companies have strange names that, you know, I think it's a lot part of maybe the language barrier there. I'm not sure. You know, I think I could have help them with a much better name and branding for their company. But overall, I've been pretty impressed with their stuff. And again, the speed on this is just phenomenal. I mean, and that's awesome. Now, I don't know how that's going to work outside my network, but I can tell you I've tested, again, many cameras inside the network, and there's always a delay. So this is really refreshing to see. I can assume that it probably has to do with whatever they have powering this, of course, like the chip, and of course the app being really scaled down. I think it's a very light app. I don't think it's very resource hungry. And I think, and again, I'm just assuming here, I also think that there may not be any kind of marketing associated, which is great. A lot of times you get some of these Chinese cameras and you open the app and they bombard you with marketing right off the bat. So by the time you get into the app, you got to click through all this nonsense. This is great. I'm very happy with it. It says here power outage can be monitored normally. When the unexpected power failure fails, the built-in lithium-ion battery can last for up to 6 hours. So that's not very long. So that's a little disappointing. It's only going to last 6 hours. That's maybe a deal breaker for me, or for a lot of people, because a lot of people aren't going to want to crawl through the attic to mount this, and this doesn't have any way of mounting it to an existing smoke detector location. So I think I like to give him, let me just show you guys a couple of close-ups here to kind of keep you guys engaged. You can see very nice construction, battery cover, again, just, you know, nothing over the top. It looks like a, you know, a fat smoke detector, but this is kind of a deal breaker, I think, for me. That battery power, that's disappointing. 6 hours is, most people are going to charge this and put it up. They expect to get several days out of it. I can tell you many of the security cameras that are battery powered that I can get almost like 3 weeks out of a lot of them that are outside and getting triggered all the time. So that's really disappointing. I will put that to the test and see. It says here, once motion is detected, a notification will be sent to the mobile app. That's pretty standard. Video image will be stored in the SD card in real time, so you have to buy an SD card. Another pet peeve of mine is companies like this, and many companies, let me just double check, make sure I'm not putting my foot in my mouth, is that SD cards are so cheap nowadays. There really isn't. It's really, they give you, I mean, this is what's annoying to me. They give you the micro USB adapter for the SD card, but no SD card. And they give you this, you know, this little pick. I'm not sure, this is probably used to pop the covers off. The cord, super short cord, probably like a 3-footer. You know, that's kind of like where I say a company's charging. Let's see what the going price is on this right now. Do they even have a price on this right now? This is kind of annoying. All right, $89. So for an $89 price point, you know, why not charge $95 and include even an 8 gig SD card? These are things that I've been preaching many times with companies, because when companies send me stuff, I give them my honest opinion. And this is a great product, don't get me wrong, but a couple downsides to it. Again, we got the really weak battery. You're going to have to hardwire this, right? And so for somebody to buy this and say, I'm going to get 6 hours out of it, then have to take it down, you're going to be taking it down every single day. It doesn't even get you through the day. If that rating is accurate, right? Which I find it surprising it's only getting that. This does have a pretty big battery in it. That might be a misprint. I will test it. I'll put an update in the description, of course. Again, the other thing, what else? They do say here they have 1-year guarantee, free shipping, and free product support. The rest is pretty standard. You know, The Wi-Fi, again, the Wi-Fi, the 2.4, the 5 gig, that's fantastic. Those are all pluses. But what was the other thing that I was just mentioning? Yeah, again, the SD card. You know, if you're going to include, if this is something that's going to have to be hardwired, why not include, charge a little more for it, include maybe a 20-foot USB-C connector or USB-C cord, so somebody can actually use the cord and run it through the attic. There's really no point. If this is something that only lasts 6 hours, they're giving you a 3-foot cord. You know, this is really completely pointless to me to even include this. You can't use it other than to charge it initially. So, I mean, I guess that's really what you can use it for. Giving you the adapter, the USB adapter without an SD card, ridiculous. No point in doing that. And that's about it. So, okay, so now that I gave you guys the cons, do I think you should buy this? This is really going to come down to whether or not you want to be bothered with having to take this down and charge it. And I mean charge it often. If we are, you know, if that 6-hour time frame is accurate. If it's like 24 hours, that's not too bad. But again, I have cameras here that have much smaller batteries that I get like several weeks out of them. So we'll put that to the test. But again, overall, love the speed, love the design. Again, I think the #1 real amazing feature about this is how responsive this camera is and how fast it rotates. I mean, when I press that button, I mean, it spins really fast and it's instant. So pretty cool. I look forward to testing this. I hope it's something that I end up keeping. If it is something that, you know, when companies send me these things sometimes they send them direct. Other times, you know, we have other ways of getting them right. But we'll see if I actually mount this. Sometimes I'll throw this on like a local Craigslist or like eBay or something and just sell it if it's something I just can't use. So, but I'll always update you guys in the description. And as always, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to ask. I'll help you in any way I can. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day and take care.